Welcome back, guys, to more WARNO. Today we have once again a community match that is really entertaining. And you guys will definitely enjoy this one, because we got Fishy, that you guys have probably seen in a lot of videos, playing with the 79. This is the armored battle group from Soviet Union. And we also have Photon on somewhere over here on the middle with the 79. And we have the KDA, which I really respect, being pushed on the right side. KDA, not really the best battle group. You have some really good units like the anti-air, because you have you kind of get up to like 4 bucks, buck and ones. You get Malkas, which are really good artillery pieces, basically sniper rifles, but big sized. And you have some decent infantry, but other than that, I don't really know exactly how it looks again. I believe you also have really good airplanes, but yeah, you kind of lack in other fields quite a bit. If you compare that to, let's say, the Berlin Command, I think it's kind of similar in terms of like how people play with it, because you have a little bit of everything kind of thrown into one battle group. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Should be a lot of fun. Fishy, obviously a really good, really skilled player here, and he's gonna do some really interesting things. And just based on his starting point, we can see that he's getting out a lot of Spetsnaz GRU squads and also Razvedkas. And he's going to push them up forward on the left side here of a map that I usually don't really have a good time on, simply because I'm more of an infantry player. I'm more of like an infantry slash mechanized player, so I love these kind of zones. I love zones where my infantry can actually get into buildings and stuff. Out in the open, I feel like I'm a bit too slow. I build up way too much, and you know, most of the game is just kind of spent with me just trying to get more units on the front line, and that just kind of turns into a total match with both parties getting more and more units out. So yeah, that's why I prefer playing elsewhere. But let's just speed it up here. So we got a couple of tanks being pushed in. From Fishy, we got an OSA, we have a Strela, T80 BVK command, 2 T80Us. That is quite expensive. 305 points, so that's 610 points right there. Together with a tank, that's 865 points. Just like that. He does have a Cub, and an OSA and a supply truck, so that is nice to see. 1 supply truck for each AA piece. A recon on the left that is going to the far left point. And we have these guys charging up to the front. Now on the right side, Photon with the 79 as well is pushing up to the middle, again with Spetsnaz GRUs, which are really cheap, 65 points. Whereas Special Aufklär, for example, are 80 points. So there's still some work to be done with balancing out recon cost and stuff, but you know, that is more for later. On the right side, Thomas, playing as the US 3rd Armored, is raining hellfire, no pun intended, on the Spetsnaz GRU. And right side is definitely rough. If you have someone that pushes hard here, the entire zone can be lost just like that. So, you know, it's actually a really interesting place to fight at. We do have an OSA coming up from Quet. Let's hope that unit hits, it misses, and gets eaten up by a hellfire. That is very unfortunate for our friend on the right side. Now, speaking of our friend on the left side here, oh, we get an immediate counter cap here, putting Warsaw Pact back to +3. And we have Spetsnaz GRU pushing forward, and now we have an aggressive push from Fishy happening here, with T80Us pushing forward, BVK is hanging out in the back, and Spetsnaz GRU is also moving up. Really good units, man. 65 points for that recon unit. It's absolutely insane. Now let's see how the T80U convoy does. They do spot that recon for a minute there, but they spot something more interesting, AMX-10Ps, which get immediately annihilated. Luckily, there's only 50 cals in that, so good little initial push there. That's gonna cut off quite a lot of units. Right side is still in trouble. A lot of SPGs and 50 cals, T62s kind of caught out in the open, almost getting one-tapped by the toes here. Now the Bradley does 25 AP, the regular Ito does 20, but even 20 AP is going to do so much damage. Now on the right side, Osa doing his best, finally taking out the Apache, and we're going to switch to the left here because we have ATGMs raining down on the T80Us. Luckily, Fishy does have some good AA, and he manages to take out 1 Jaguar, which is comes at a cost of 195 points for 305, so I'm going to call him Dashy. Dashy definitely won that engagement there. Now, an interesting thing about Razvedka teams and helicopters is if the helicopter crashes, a lot of times the Razvedka teams survive, which I find quite amazing, and I've seen this happen in many other matches where people kind of just yeet airborne units over the enemy line. the helicopter gets shot, but the squad survived. Like, at least, a couple of them survived, which is quite amazing. Oof, oh my god, all of that AA is missing today. There we go, finally a good kill there. All it took was an Osa, a Strela, and a Cub, but nice combination of different types of AA pieces here. So we have infrared, radar, one is kind of medium range, one is long range. Perfect. You only need, 2 of the 3 to hit in their 2 to 3 missile bursts, so that is a pretty good chance. TADU getting narrowly missed here by the Aito over there. Again, or Milan 2, excuse me, 24 AP. That's definitely gonna do a lot of damage. Let's see if it hits so that we can tell how much damage it exactly does. Ooh, 3 HP damage just like that. That is quite nasty. He definitely has to fall back, but over here, he found his command with the motorized, I keep calling him motorized, with the Resvetka team. Really good, nice little kill here with a very cheap recon again, 60 points. And the MI2 gets sold, so really cost-effective unit to have. Now the Spetsnaz here gets spotted by the Dragon Paras. They also have the a sniper rifle. Better range on these guys, better accuracy as well. Other than that, it's basically the same. Rate of fire is lower. So yeah, that's actually a sniper rifle, that's more of a DMR kind of thing. Well, Resvetkas do get spotted, but that guy did his job. Middle is nice and stable. Photon is holding at the edges of the zone. We got some Metis teams here. TADUD took some damage. That is a 320 point heavy old tank. But he has a pretty nice little spread of units here. Now on the right side is really where a lot of the action is happening here. And when A1 gets missed by the Kokon ATGMs, T62s are trying to just push him back a little bit. But that is probably not going to end well for the 62s. Let's see if we get a nice little cheeky hit. Nope, that's a miss. T62s gets blapped. And the Kokon... Oh, okay, we do get a hit there with the Kokon. Very nice. He does have some man-pads in those buildings. Dealing, I think, 4 HE. Or no, actually, that's probably 5 HP damage right there. ATGMs on the left. Going after a poor supply truck. Luckily, that does miss. And I'm keeping an eye on the minimap to not have you guys miss any of the combat, because this is a really fun little match. So far, Warsaw Pact is ahead by almost 200 points, so a pretty good start here for Warsaw Pact, but NATO's gonna have to make a comeback soon. Another nice ATGM hit there, and with that the M1A1 has fallen back. So let's move on to the left here real quick. We noticed some more of APT-20s moving in, but we have Fishy moving up a couple of Pulmachikis. These are squad with 3 PKMs. Really, really good infantry units, but unfortunately there's an ATGM there that destroyed one of them. And there's 2 Gazelle Hots with 24 AP, 60% accuracy ATGMs, which are insane. Luckily though, Fishy does have a Strela, taking out one of them. And luckily the Gazelle Hots are targeting the BTRs instead of the T-80, and one Strela actually takes out 2 of them with 4 missiles total. That is amazing. It outperformed its statistics, so I'm actually happy with that one. So nice little supply situation here, more supplies being called in. Immediately fixing up the T-80, rearming the Strela, getting the smoke dispenser filled, and look at how fast tanks repair. It's actually kind of nuts. That was almost instant. Now on the right side here, we see a nice little flank movement ahead. Couple of T-62s. Quite cost-effective units, 16 AP. At close range, that's gonna wreck. And then also some Panzerjäger, which have the dual RPG 7VRs. And a couple of AA units as well, so really nice composition of units there. And the M1A1 is getting clapperonied by the Conkers. Is that going to finish it? Getting a booty shot? Ooh, man, that would have pissed me off. That would have pissed me off, but that guy is hurt. He's gonna be out of commission for at least 20 seconds. If he has a supply truck nearby. That is how fast they fix up. I kind of calculated it. And a tank that is like completely calm and has a supply truck nearby repairs at a rate of 1 HP per 2 seconds. Ooh, really good hit with Jaguar, but luckily the T-80 survives that. And the AA takes care of the Jaguar. There's one Osa, 2 Osas, 1 Cub, 1 Strela. Just absolutely crazy. And the cool thing is, with the command... Is that because of the command? Yeah, the command puts it at elite. So that is also something you can do. Put your, if you have a command in a zone like this, just put your AA around it. It's gonna get buffed up at least 1 veterancy. So Pulmachikis doing their best against a 50. but obviously the 50 is going to do more suppression and stuff, so they do lose that fight. But we have the UAZ with the KPVT returning the favor. And the Resvetka team joining in. Man, that 50 cal is just not giving up. A Challenger 2 being called in. Unfortunately, the T-80U is still damaged. We see another motorized Resvetka push happening here. And Fishy's definitely a fan of having some airborne troops because it gives him a lot of maneuverability. And I definitely agree with him. MI8s themselves are 50 points. The good thing is they have 8 HP. So a manpad with 5 HP will have to hit twice. Or a manpad with also with 4 HP will have to hit at least twice. But they might survive it, you know, with a slim chance of having just 1 HP left, but you never know. So MI8s managed to land the infantry, and they're gonna get clapping and moving up into the corner there. And the MI8s are going back to base. Really cool little aerial deployment of infantry there. There's a little bit of mortar fire going on here, doing quite a bit of damage. One T-80UD is actually routed. One thing that I like about the new routing system is that they don't just move into the enemy territory. They used to do that a lot in Steel Division 2, which really pissed me off quite a bit. But now they kind of just, you know, at least try to stay in cover. Now 2 Challenger Mark IIs, quite a bit of a problem. And T-80UD is left with no choice but to retreat. Gonna quickly go to the right here. We have a fresh little engagement between Thomas and Quetz. Tumas and Quetz. But that seems to kind of be a stalemate for the moment here. In the middle, plane getting shot down. Really nice little engagement here with the Tungushkas and the Iklas. One Jaguar does get out, but in general, Photon seems to be holding really nicely. He has a nice little composition of infantry with tanks, and that is something that I can definitely learn from. Now the Challengers are still alive here. The T-80UD is trying to just cover. He has a supply truck that continuously fills up the smoke dispensers on it, and basically he's just trying to keep its distance from both of them. He moves in, does lay a nice little hit on the Chally, but unfortunately the cluster forces him to push up, and the other Chally finishes the job. But a really good micro here from Fishy with that 1 T-80, dealing still quite a bit of damage. SU-25 coming in, the smoke immediately making that a failed mission, but he does get a Milan team. And do we get a Mirage as well? Oof, almost. If we also got a Mirage, that would have been a good little engagement there. Now let's go to neutral mode real quick. It is definitely not an easy battle. There's a lot of points being pushed into this zone. A lot of pivotes or privotes, which are basically military police, 4-man squads. On the right side, there is a lot of American armor just piled down over here. We got 1, 2, 3 M1A1s and 4 M1A1s all over this place, so that is rough. And in the middle, yeah, a lot of units here as well. So Duke Mouse is playing as a 2nd infantry and just has all of the fire support you could ever ask for, and is moving up assault pioneers and airmobiles that carry satchel charges and Law 80s to the flank. And I am just worried about this T-80UD over there. That could be quite a disastrous engagement there. Now moving back to the left, the Recon are still alive. That was probably a really cost-effective push there. Those guys are just chilling for the moment. One Challenger is actually down to 2 HP. And yeah, that kind of makes Fishy decide to move in his T-80UD. 320 points, once again. Really, really expensive. And together with Airborne Recon, he can make some fast moves happen. And I think for reinforcements, having some airborne troops is definitely worth. Hellfire destroying a BRDM, bit of an overkill there. But we got a Bradley and an H.A. Abrams. Just Giga Chads in the armored life, holding the right flank. We have a fresh little artillery strike going on here. I wonder if that's going to be followed up with a push. And that is actually the only command that he has. And he's moving it up on the front line. That is quite ballsy. I respect it. Man, look at all the units being called in on the left. That is nuts. So many units being pushed in. Now the T-80 is going to fall back. Probably going to wait for the recon units that are coming up. Yep, there it is. Before that guy pushes up because, well, 320 points. All that armor doesn't mean a thing at close range. Now we have a really fun forced fights. Is that cluster? No, that's HE. We have some HE rockets coming in from a double stack of grads. And Let me know if grads actually are worth it, because I never really see them do too much. There's actually nothing in that forest now, but I might have actually done quite a bit. Grads seem a bit underpowered. I guess if you want to use them, you gotta use just like 4 of them at one point. But look at the supply cost as well. 2,000 supply cost? And each volley is, yeah, salvo length 20, so 960 per volley. That is quite pricey. You're gonna drain that fava real quick. Whereas a Uragan is, I believe, 800 points or something like that, and it does much more damage. And Buratino is about the same as well, I believe, unless it all changed. But yeah, well, TADUD is still alive. Challenger Mark II is still creeping up over here somewhere. And he's pushing in quite aggressively. So he better watch out for that. A lot of supply trucks being called in, which is just a wonderful sight. You can never have too many supply trucks, guys. Now we have kind of a counter battery that pierces mountains. We have an MLRS firing ahead with 12 rockets. And that really just did quite a bit of damage. I wonder if it's possible to make rockets not be able to fire through mountains again. It's kind of, yeah. I don't know how it works with arced fire lines, if that makes sense, or arced line of sight. It's really hard to code, I guess, but that's always been a thing in every product from Eugen. That mountains are not seen by artillery. Artillery basically just looks at what you call it. For artillery, the map is flat. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. But if they at one point like change it in such a way that artillery can't pierce through mountains, like imagine the things you could do. You could just put stuff on this side of the mountain and not care about artillery that might be over there that has like a low arc of fire or fire arc. So 2 TADUDs versus 1 Milan, not really a problem. You just fire on that thing, get it stunned. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. And there it is. Yeah, an ATGM squad at close range, really not a problem. Really not a problem. You don't want to do that, because it's so easy to stun these guys. So Resvetka leading the charge. TADUD's opening up on the Chally, getting 2 really good hits. And destroying one of them instantly with their 20 AP cannons. And another volley brings down the other Chally to 1 HP. And with that, they finish the job. Beautiful little tank engagement there, and definitely something I want to try out on this map as well, to push more towards this little plateau here early, and just have like recon units push up hard here. Look at these 2 recon units still surviving. That is quite funny. Now Jaguar coming in with bombs. That is really not going to do too much, and he gets absolutely demolished by the amount of AA that this place has. That was absolutely crazy. So blue team is now ahead with 600 points, 623 to be more precise. So it's not really looking good. The right side is firmly in the hands of Tumas, but the middle is being contested now by Photon, so that is a really nicely executed small push here. Unfortunately, UD does miss that shot that was kind of necessary to hit, but there's some other Strelakis with RPGs. Ooh. Dealing a really nice side shot on the Chally. That is quite disgusting. Another nice hit, bringing it down to 3 HP. Let's see if the UD is going to hit again. He seems to get into cover right on time. That is very lucky there. Yeah, UD definitely needs to repair. So he's probably waiting for a supply truck or something to join it. Motostrelakis did do a little bit of a push, but are now falling back straight into airmobiles, which was very sad. But now the grads are opening up once again. And I just want to see how much damage it does. Did that Challenger just get destroyed? No? Okay, it did do some damage to it. That is not too bad. But yeah, like the splash damage it does, it only has 1.6 HE and 244 suppression. And if you compare that to a Malka, which is, yes, massive, it does more HE. So the grad is really more for suppression then, rather than doing actual damage. M1A1 versus TADUD, probably not a fight I want to take on. M1A1 is just beefed out of its mind. 20 versus... So 20 front armor, 21 AP. And then here it's kind of switched. 21 front armor, 20 AP. So pretty good toss-up, but still a bit tricky. Ooh, that was a nasty shot right there. That's a critical. Bringing him down to 3 HP immediately. Little fuel explosion there from the UD. That was a beautiful shot. Cheeky little side shot. Yep, there goes the M1A1. Beautifully positioned T80UD. Look at that. Just looking down that entire road. And there's nothing on that side to protect it. I want to do this again. I want to play here in the middle. And if my ally doesn't do well, I'm just going to fucking speedrun. Speedrun units there. So let's move back to the left here. We have Fishy doing a brand new push. T80UD taking the lead here. Group anti-char are going to be bad news for him though, if he does get engaged by those guys. And we have AMX-10 Milans firing away with the 20mm autocannon. T80UD destroying the Milan real quick. Anti-char, if he does move up, he could get a really nice little kill on the UD. But there's still a lot of firepower down here that will destroy them nonetheless. But let's see if Mr. Dashy is paying attention. Really good push on the left here. BVs also firing on the main blob here. But the main push is really over here, it seems. Man, 2 UDs and a BVK. 2 or 3 BMP2s with Motostrelakis. More T80s in the back. This is how Armored is played, guys. Really good player with a really good battle group is scary. Group anti-char still not moving up. At this point, it's a bit too late though. If he does move up, he's gonna get blasted by all these autocannons. Otherwise, it would probably deal a lot of damage to at least... It would probably destroy at least one T80UD. Yep, there's the anti-char engaging infantry. Not a good toss-up. That is a very sad day. Unfortunately, the Strela has an even sadder day, missing 4 times on the hot. But that is very sad. Harrier GR3 with Sneb rockets. Actually, not bad. Not a bad little plane to have. But it's gonna get shot down. Does quite a bit of damage. I didn't expect it to do that much damage with some Snebs. Oh, look at that. The Resvetka is at the airmobile units. Man, if that destroys the command, I'm gonna... Man, that's gonna be amazing. Let's see what happens. The Resvetka team is stunning the airmobile faster than, you know, vice versa. Looks like the Resvetka team might live. Gonna be rough. T80UD getting absolutely blasted once again by the anti-char units. By the anti-tank squads. Double PLAS launchers. 21 AP. That is basically having an M1A1 HA Abrams. Yeah. That's basically having 2 M1A1 HA Abrams fire at you. That is gonna hurt. Look at that. Airmobile is actually losing to the Resvetka. They had 1 man more, but there's a rocket heli that is, or plane that is coming in. And yeah, there goes that. Oh, okay, it only fired a couple of them. Tries to evacuate the Buck, reaching out and destroying the GR1. Or GR3, sorry. But yeah, with that, the AMX-10s are going to come in and save the day. Really good flank here, and that is effectively cutting off this main supply route. And blue team will have to use the other route here, which definitely takes them longer to get into the zone. That is quite a bit of a dangerous situation there. Really good little crossfire here. T80UD is just going crazy on some poor reserve units. And in the meantime, there's a bit of a build-up in the middle here. Photon getting a lot of Motostrelakis, Resvetkas into the zone. And right now, blue is still leading, like they are still +2. It's gonna be a rough one. Right side, massive push. AMX-30s from Dashy, so they seem to be coordinating quite well. Blue team, that is. Panzerjägers doing their best with the, again, the quad RPG-7s. There's 2 squads of them. Destroying quite a few, like 3 AMX-30Bs are already destroyed and VAP-T20. Like, that is not... That's a lot of units right there. Another AMX-10 destroyed. You can just see the RPGs being lobbed out. T-62 actually getting damaged quite a bit by the autocannons. It's completely panicked. Cannot even reload the gun at this point. But not to worry, there's a lot of tanks here, and the spawn of red team is over here. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. But they can get really, you know, they can get reinforcements real quick. T-55s being wonderful with their fire support. Really cheap, 55 points, no pun intended. And that is just absolutely destroying both of those groups. Look at that. There's two pigeons in front of my window that are having a fight. It's kind of funny. But let's go back to the middle here. Middle is neutralized. So right now, red team is actually at a +5. Just making sure that I don't need to break up like a pigeon fight. Ooh, SU-25 is lost though. 2 SU-25s lost, just like that. Man, that is rough. Now over here, TADUD does move into the zone here momentarily just to decap it, but that does give him a nice little catch up here. But now they're going to be down to +1 once again. But that, you know, that gave him a good couple points there for as long as possible. So that's actually not too bad. But that was a, that was a good move. I would say that's a good move. In the middle, Mirage flying over the middle here. Tunguska just not really enough to take it out. Cub still flinging missiles and actually getting it. Really nicely done there. Now on the right, we have a lot of light tanks, and this is a really good strategy. Because, you know, when they're like 800 meters or closer, even a T-55 is going to destroy a heavy M1A1. Now over here, fresh little push with Pulmochikis with the triple or double PKMs. When stationary, those guys are gonna do a lot of damage. And on the south of them, there's Rasvetkas. They have a little bit of a pincer move here, but it's mainly the 50 cals here that do most of the damage. It's quite rough. Now he does have some tanks here. They're kind of just repairing. Otherwise, I would have caught these M1A1s in the side. Oh no! One T80 BVK is going to open up. Unfortunately, misses. But luckily for Fishy, he was paying attention and he smokes off that tank. Good move there. Here we go. Let's see what the UD does to that. Oh, M1A1 gets a nice hit, but the M1A1 does get hit as well, really badly in the side. I reckon if he gets one more shot with anything, that's gonna be the end for that guy. Oh, really good micro here. Lynx 8-7s with the ITOs are being called in to basically cover the tanks. That forces Fishy to move back a little bit. Now in the middle, fresh little push from Photon. A lot of activity here, SAS being absolutely annihilated by all the firepower. Basically everyone here has a machine gun on it. KPVTs, PKTs, NSVTs, yeah, that's gonna hurt big time. Now right side seems to kind of like it was different. NATO was doing really well, but I think with that push there, NATO blew its load. And now Quetz is kind of coming back really well. Dumas basically only has, again, like 3 Abrams left. 3 in the zone here, so 4 Abrams total. But that is about it. That is really not that much, and the flank once again is completely open. And a lot of people just underestimate flanks. And the same thing is, you know, happening here. You know, doing a probing attack on one of the flanks is always a good idea. Ooh, oh no. 2 TADUDs destroyed just like that. To an AMX-10RC and a Fab Mephisto. The Fab Mephisto, really, really good. 65%, 24 AP weapon on it. And obviously the AMX at close range, it's gonna do a ton of damage. Nice little counter already on the D22s from the 155mm there. Marses are also opening up on something. I wonder on what these guys are gonna fire. Let's see. Is that counter battery? Nope, seems to be firing on the middle zone here. Luckily though, for Photon, the command is moving. A good little movement there. Yeah, left side is going pretty good. There's 2 TADUDs slowly pushing through the forest. The only thing he really has to worry about is the APLAS launchers, but getting a side shot from the Law 80 is also not going to be fun, which have 20 AP versus 21 of the APLAS. So there's really good infantry in here. So let's see what these guys are playing as. So we have Duke playing as the 2nd, obviously, and then Dashi is playing as the 5th Blindé. And for the 5th Blindé, he's holding out really well against the 79. There we go, the Mars has opened up. Not really doing too much damage. I mean, there isn't really much to damage in the first place. Command is on the left. Still giving Warsaw Pact a +1, so they're slowly coming back. They're slowly but surely coming back, but with that, the command is dead, and... well, game goes back to neutral, but they caught up really, really nicely. And blue is now actually gaining +2. That is quite worrying here. TADUD is getting absolutely annihilated, unfortunately, by the PLAS and the Law 80s. Yeah, that is nasty. That's quite nasty. We don't want to be up against those guys. Oh, N1A1 gets blapperonied by the MiG-27. How expensive is that? 175 points. Really, really good plane. The ECM not so much. I mean, 20 ECM is actually not too bad. And he did actually survive because of a really nice anti-air coverage, and the Mirage. Whew, Mirage almost gets out. Really good match so far. Left side still doing pretty good. I mean, Fishy does have nice supply situation here, so the T-80s are getting repaired really, really quickly. But so is all of that infantry. Both guys are just basically playing a attrition war over there. Here we go, Resvetka's once again moving in up front. T-80UD's pushing in. Let's see what is going to win. One by one, the T-80s can take him on. So the PLAS did 1 damage, did 2 damage with 2 RPG hits. Because the closer you are, it doesn't do more damage. It basically does like equivalent of a max range 21 AP damage of a tank. So you want to get side shots with those bad boys. It did lower him down to 6 HP though. But with that, these guys are out of PLAS launchers, and here's a horde of Safaris with RPO launchers. And you can already guess what that's going to do. That's going to completely delete everything in this forest. There's also artillery coming down. Tumas is marking for MLRS. And there's also mortars firing exactly right on top of them. But luckily, Fishy is ready for that. So what he's basically doing is he's attack moving his squads through here. Because when you do a big blob attack like this, you can already make sure, or you can already guess that the enemy's gonna RD it or bomb it or something like that. So you want to keep moving. So there's the artillery. MLRS firing exactly behind the group here. We're very lucky for Fishy here. And he's slowly but surely pushing him out. Blue is still +2, almost double the points. Quite a rough game to come back from with only 9 minutes left. But there goes the command. So that is going to put red team to +1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what happens. Nope, it puts it equal, okay. But what needs to happen is definitely a CV needs to go to the middle right, and maybe the right side could also be contested by something. We do have some nice artillery right on top of the N1A1 from the Malkas, and I wonder if that's actually going to kill it. One more shot should do it, and yep, there it goes. N1A1 command dead, and that is really risky because there's no command here to contest it if Warsaw Pact lobs in a command of their own. Now, speaking of lobbing anything, a lot of infantry is being pushed into this zone here, and also a command tank is being pushed in. So Dashi is moving an AMX-30B2. Luckily for Fishy, he still has his 2 UDs. They just need to calm down. They got hammered quite a bit. Oof, man. A10 is just avoiding every bit of AA. 3 buck misses already. Quite impressive. Buratino strike on the only place where NATO basically has units, and it's absolutely annihilating everything. Look at that. On the right side, really good push happening here. Photon is making use of the corridor that is left undefended, and that is pushing Mouse's airmobiles into that zone, so that is also taking a lot of units away from Mouse. Now Tumas and Quetz have just been brawling it out on the far right flank. Not really much of a difference to most of the match, it seems. But this N1A1 is getting a little bit too friendly. 2 TADUDs point blank are gonna smack you up pretty easily. But he's holding. There's no need to really push until that command gets in there. But when it does, blue is gonna be back to +2, and that is not good. We do have some nice artillery raining down on that position. So let's see if that does any damage. Well, 2 HP damage right there. TADUD getting out to try to snipe it. Mediocre cohesion. Let's see if he gets a nice little shot on that. Ooh, he actually gets hit instead. But AMX30 is down to 50% HE, or HP. TADUD misses again. I'm not quite sure what it's targeting. But he can't do too much of a push. There's a lot of open space there. But neutralizing the middle puts red up to +1. Just like that. On the right side, again, not so much, basically just arty sniping, but we have a really interesting thing happening here. We're gonna have Fishy's TADBVK command go into this zone and take it over, because there is no NATO command unit in that area. And that is something you never want to forget about. So 2 TADBVK commands are being called in, one to go and support here, and the other one is going to change its mind and go to the red. So keeping a command in your zones after capturing it is never a bad idea. If you have some extra units, definitely do that, because it might just save you the game. Or prevent you from losing the game. Kinda goes both ways. A really nice push here. Photon definitely spearheading the middle. We got some nice artillery strikes right on top of the blob of Rapier FSAs. Man, that is disgusting. So good. The Malkas and the 152mm in combo, and they will just annihilate anything you have. So here we go. We have our little push here coming in from Fishy. Now with only 4 minutes left, having only a +1 is not going to win you the game. So you have to do something daring. That's exactly what they're doing. Now the middle, probably not going to work. There's a lot of very heavy tanks over there. They're defending it really nicely. That's going to be a rough one. So they decaptured, or I should say just neutralized the middle, or contested the middle. And they are now trying to move a command into the right zone. The LRS does not have any anti-tank weapon. And just like that, they actually take over the entire right flank. So now it's +3, but when this zone is captured completely, it's going to be +5 with only 4 minutes left. So that is a nail-biter and a half. There we go. +5, just like that. Spetsnaz being called in as well. And this is, yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. Just both Duke and Dash are just scrambling to get a command in there. Everybody's getting a command. We have M1A1s. We have infantry and helicopters. We have a command truck coming in. Just total chaos right now to try to contain that. We also have a burrito coming in. Basically a delete button. Destroys the tank command over there. And the red team is making a gigantic comeback. And look at the amount of kills the Buratino gets. That's absolutely disgusting. And now they're +7. Just like that. Now they're +7. We do have 2 Su-25s coming in. They've spotted the Challenger Mark II command. But they did lose line of sight on it. But they immediately spotted again. Nope, they spotted something else. They spotted another Challenger, but not the command version. And 1 Su-25 is lost, unfortunately. But really good push here in the middle. Photon is still pushing ahead with its T-80s. There's an Apache that is kind of being a little bit of a problem for 240 points. But hey, it did the trick. On the right side, they do neutralize it once again, but, you know, the point gain is quite obvious. They've basically dialed it down almost to a draw. So if they get 1280 points, so 80 points or less, or 100 points or less, it's a draw. So they've already come back from a defeat here in a couple seconds. They just need to hold it for one more, and there you go. Now it's at least a draw. But if they get more than 1480 points or more, then it's a victory for Warsaw. So, really exciting match. Really exciting match. Quite a lot of activities in the last couple minutes. Now Seaplane coming in, actually gun running the Challenger command. and bring the game up to +5 once again. And Warsaw has right now equalized the points. Amazingly. Just like that. Now Dashi is moving his AMX-10 and VBL Milans up, but I mean there's really no reason to do that here. Unless you have a command with that. Because now Warsaw is about 40 points away from victory, just like that. Like in the last 9 minutes, they've managed to do a comeback just like that. There's a couple of tanks here, so this is probably only going to be contested for the remainder of the game. But just like that, Warsaw is now victorious already. Let's see what the rest of the last 60 seconds have in store for us here. Basically, Fishy just doing a damage, damage control kind of thing here. Just keeping the Sapries there to hold at least the majority of these guys in that area. But it really is too late. And Warsaw is smacking. Warsaw is absolutely smacking over there. Quite a disastrous low outcome there. I think if the right side here had the command still in the zone, would that have made a difference? Maybe. It could have just been a draw if he had a command in there. I think the fact that the flank wasn't used here, or defended, really kind of did it. Oh, we have some counter artillery going on 4 AMX AOF1s. Man, that is nasty. Oh my god. That's quite disgusting. That's a lot of points. Whew. Just like that. Red team has a minor victory. That is amazing. Because your score is 5% higher than the opposing team. Okay, so it needs to be 5%. Never mind. Really good. A really good match here. Fishy getting 9,300 kills, 7,000 losses. Quetz going pretty good as well. Almost 9k versus 6k. Photon went nicely neutral. Tumas on the right side going a little bit negative, but not too bad. Dashi on the left getting absolutely hammered, and Duke Mouse also getting wrecked in the middle. But a really good match from both NATO and Warsaw. Definitely enjoyed watching that. So yeah, if you guys enjoy these community games that I'm casting, please do let me know. If you don't enjoy them, also let me know, because I don't want to, I don't want to hurt you guys' feelings. If you only want to see me game or see matches that I played in, just let me know. Any criticism is good criticism, as long as it's constructive. So hit me up with those. With that said, I hope to see you guys back very soon. Take care.